Hi there again, this is Tony B, and I'm going to try to show you some wet sanding on some really fairly deep scratches. I don't know if they're going to show up on this video, but I'm going to do some 1500 grit and then 2500 grit, and then I'm going to go back and hit the whole hood with compounding to see whether or not I can get rid of it. They are pretty good scratches. Not quite sure if they're coming up on camera, but there's my Sunday afternoon trying to make the car look nicer. I shall be back. I hope you can see, they are starting to come out, but it takes a little bit longer. So I've moved the tape out a little bit more so I can feather in my work, but let's see. Be back. Okay, this is my third pass with 1500 grit, and the scratches are almost gone from the trunk of the car. But I'll keep on going until they disappear, and then I'm going to go over with 2500 grit, move the tapes out a little bit more so it's feathered, and then I'm going to compound the car. Sorry, the trunk. But it seems to be working. I thought these scratches were much deeper than they were, but when you spray water on them they disappear, so that tells me it's a clear coat scratch. But it's getting much better. I shall be back. Okay, as you can see now, I think there's just one little bit of scratch left I've got to work on. It's tedious work, but just take your time, do it right. Everything else seems to have come out good. Let me show you my little setup. It's basically, go over here, a carpenter's pencil that I just cut down, break to fit in the 1500 grit, which is here. Here we go, 1500 dry, wet and dry sanding, and a couple of little clips from Home Depot, like 30 cents a piece. I fold it, wrap it around, and it makes a really nice small area that I can move around. Like I say, it's coming out really good, so let me keep going. Okay, as you can see, I think I've probably just about got it all out, but just want to show you. You can get a lot of pressure in a very small area if you use this setup. Like I said, it's just a marking pencil for a carpenter, a couple of little mini clips, and some wet sanding 1500 grit. So you can really work in a very tight area and not do a lot of damage or scuff marks to a lot of the paint. So after this I'm going to switch out to 2500 grit and move the tapes out just a little bit more so I can feather it all in. So I shall be back. Okay, so now I think I am finished with the 1500 grit. I'm now going to switch out to a 2500. There she is. I'm going to do some more sanding. I've widened the strips so that I can get more of a beveled edge to it, and we'll see how it goes. Now what I'm doing now is I've just done my 2500 sanding, wet sanding, but I'm patting it down so I don't do any really hard rubbing. Now, let's take a look. Sorry about that, my daughter-in-law came home and my little buddy was in the way, so Now we've got her parked up. Yep, it's looking pretty good. This is a 2500 grit, so it should take out a lot of the swirls and stuff. I'm going to do a little bit more, and then I'm going to get the buffing dual action buffer out. See what I can do with that. I just want to show you with my little polishing device, if you can see the white on that wet sanding paper, that actually is clear coat. So we are removing some of the clear coat from the car. So, but at 2500 grit, it is pretty much nothing. Now I do have a paint depth gauge. It's not the top of the line, it's a cheapy one. It cost me like 20 bucks off at Amazon. But it does measure, because I've been testing it with different levels of paper and stuff. So what I want to do before I actually get the dual action polisher out is to sit down and do some measurements of the paint depth and see how much I've removed. Hopefully it can measure that amount. So we'll see. Okay, so here it is. I actually have a little bit of a scratch still left in there, but it looks like I'm getting too damn close. I'm cutting through the paint now, so I'm going to leave it and just see if I can buff out the rest. This is side shot. I just rubbed down the whole of the trunk lid with IPA, isopropyl, basically rubbing alcohol. It's let me show you. It's a mixed solution, 70% rubbing alcohol. I think that's probably good enough to remove any type of sealant that's on the hood of the car. And let me get the DA polisher out. Okay, so it's now all rubbed down. I've just got to get it compounded. Here is my machine. It is, and don't hate on me, it is a Harbor Freight dual action polisher. I have a Lake Country 6.5 inch medium cutting pad, the orange one. But don't hate on me. At 54 bucks, it's a good purchase, and we'll see how good it can be. So there she is. Let's see what this can do. I'm also going to be using Shine Supply's Classic Cut rubbing compound. It's a degradable compound, so it will basically do a one step, which means first 2 or 3 passes is very aggressive cut. After that it breaks down and becomes more of a polishing abrasive, and then you don't have to do anything else. So let's see. Okay, this is the finished article. Yes, I did screw up, and I think I burnt through the paint in that area, but the 2 deep scratches that I really didn't like have gone. I should do a 50-50 shot, but I didn't. There's no real bright sunlight, but it has really made the trunk look way better. I'm now going to put a quick layer of Chemical Guys Black Light with the DA polisher. That has some fillers in it, and I can see right here I've got a scratch. It may not show up on camera. Let's see what the DA part can do with some black